Welcome back to Speak Up Friends. It's Arnva here. Today we've got a conversation I think will feel like a warm, honest chat. Maya Raghavan is with me and we are talking about learning English in India, the real stuff, not just textbook tips. We'll talk about nervousness, daily practice routines, mindset and why consistency matters. Maya, thank you for joining.
Thank you so much, Arnva. I am happy to be here. A little nervous, but happy. I want to talk about my learning, and maybe it helps others who feel the same.
Maya, can you tell our listeners where you're from and a little about your background? Just in your own words. Who is Maya?
Sure. I'm 24 from a small town near Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu. I grew up in a regional medium school where most lessons were in Tamil and English was mainly in school books. After college, I started working in IT support and realized spoken English mattered a lot for job growth and confidence.
That's it. And that matters. Your story is exactly why this conversation matters. English in India often becomes a gatekeeper for jobs in education. ACER 2023 shows in rural areas, many adolescents struggle with reading simple English sentences. About 42% can't read them. And that really changes opportunity. So when you say English matters for IT work, it's not just a personal preference. It's a structural thing.
Yes, Arnava. I felt that. It felt like a wall sometimes. Like, if my English is not good, I wouldn't get certain interviews. It felt unfair, but also real.
Totally. And Maya, I want to name that pressure. In India, English often links to jobs, higher education, and social status. That doesn't mean it's a measure of intelligence, but people treat it like one. How did that pressure feel for you when you started applying for jobs?
It was scary. I remember applying for a support role and thinking, if they ask me to explain something on the call, will I freeze? I knew the technical part, but English felt like the test I couldn't study for overnight.
Yeah, that's a very common feeling. There's a phenomenon called foreign language anxiety. It's a real thing. People feel unease, worry, sometimes physical symptoms like a racing heart or sweating when they speak another language. It especially shows up in speaking because there is no time to edit. So when you said you might freeze, that maps exactly to what we say in research. Maya, have you felt those physical or mental blocks?
Yes, sometimes I know the word and then it disappears. I get blank. My mind goes empty and I hear my own heartbeat. It's frustrating.
I hear you. There's a cognitive load explanation for that. When you are speaking, you juggle vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and also social worry. What will they think? Anxiety itself uses mental energy, so there's less energy to find words. It's like the brain librarian is stressed and can't find the book quickly. That simple image helps a lot.
Oh, wow. The librarian image? I love that. It makes it less personal, more like a normal brain thing.
Exactly. And the more you practice, the better that librarian gets at the job. That's where consistency comes in. Research summarized in several language teaching sources says frequent shorter practice sessions beat rare long cramming. Even 15-30 minutes a day builds habits and strengthens neural pathways. So, you practice every day, right, Maya?
Yes, I do practice daily. I listen to podcasts, read short articles, and I speak in front of a mirror. Sometimes I shadow speakers, repeat after them. It helps, slowly.
That's a great routine. Let's unpack each part so listeners can copy it. First, podcasts. Why do you choose them, Maya? What kind of podcasts do you listen to?
I like interviews and simple conversational podcasts. I choose episodes with clear voices and sometimes transcripts. I listen during my commute or while doing chores, and I try to repeat short phrases.
Good. Podcasts give exposure to natural rhythm, pronunciation, and everyday phrases. Over time, listeners move from translating in their heads to understanding ideas directly. And shadowing, repeating after the speaker, helps with rhythm and pronunciation. Practical tip, pick level-appropriate shows and do micro sessions of 5-10 minutes. Do you ever shadow full sentences or just phrases, Maya?
Mostly phrases, sometimes full short sentences. I try to copy stress and intonation. It feels awkward at first, but then it becomes easier.
Yes, awkward is part of growth. Now, reading simple articles, why simple is smart. If learners pick texts that are too hard, they quit. Simple news, graded readers, or short pieces build vocabulary through context and support all four skills. Do you note new words when you read?
I do. I write down 3 to 5 new words and make one sentence with each. That way they move from passive, like I understand them, to active, where I can use them.
Perfect. That 3-5 words plus sentences trick is practical and research backed. Frequent exposure and active use move words into active vocabulary. Now, mirror practice. I love this one. Speaking in front of a mirror helps with body language, reduces fear, and gets you used to your voice. Do you ever record yourself, Maya?
Sometimes I record short videos, but I don't share them. I watch them later and notice small things. My speed, my gestures. It's awkward but useful.
Yes. Recording is a powerful feedback loop. It's safe because you control who sees it, and it gives objective evidence of progress. Even 5 minutes a day in front of a mirror or a camera can change your comfort level drastically. So your routine, podcasts, reading, mirror, that's a full loop of listening, reading, speaking. Nice.
Thank you. I feel that it helps my confidence, not just my vocabulary.
Confidence is a huge part. You once told me, I don't worry about mistakes. Mistakes help me learn. I love that line. Let's expand on that. Mistakes are feedback, not failure. In many Indian classrooms, wrong answers are punished instead of used as a learning moment, which raises fear. What helped you change your view about mistakes?
I started thinking like practice at the gym. If I lift wrong, I correct and try again. If I make a mistake speaking, I note it and try again. Also, small wins when someone understood me made me less scared of mistakes.
That's a brilliant analogy. Practice makes permanent, not perfect. Better to practice and adjust than to wait for perfect sentences. And small wins matter because they give positive feedback that reduces anxiety over time. By the way, how did you feel when you first agreed to come on this podcast?
Nervous, honestly. I thought, what if I forget words on the mic? But I also felt excited. It's a safe, friendly place to practice. So I said yes.
Good decision. Speaking on a podcast is recorded exposure. It's controlled pressure that helps you get used to being heard. Repeated safe exposure is a bit like simple therapy. Slowly, the brain learns that public speaking in English does not lead to catastrophe. Maya, when you compare yourself to a year ago, how have your feelings about speaking changed?
I feel braver. A year ago, I avoided calls where I had to explain things in English. Now, I volunteer to take those calls sometimes. It's still scary, but less so.
That progress, volunteering, is exactly the kind of small step that compounds. Let's talk about the future self idea you mentioned. You said your future motivates you. Describe that future, Maya. What does she do in English?
Future Maya can handle interviews confidently, speak in meetings without pausing too much, and maybe take an online course without worrying about the language. I want to express my thoughts clearly and not be judged for an accent.
Powerful. Visualizing a vivid future self does increase persistence and effort. When your goals are clear, interviews, meetings, online courses, it's easier to make daily choices that support them. Now, listeners might hear all this and ask, isn't it too late? I am 30, 40, 50. Maya, what would you say to someone older who thinks they are too old to learn?
I'd say it's not too late. Adults can learn effectively because they have focus and purpose. They may not get perfect native pronunciation, but they can be fluent and confident.
Exactly. That's a common myth. You must be young to learn a language well. In reality, adults often learn grammar and vocabulary efficiently because of developed cognitive skills. The advantage is in strategy and consistency, not age. Another myth, don't speak unless your grammar is perfect. What do you think about that, Maya?
That myth kept me silent for a long time. But now I see people care more about understanding than perfect grammar. So I try to communicate first.
Yes, communication first. Over-focusing on grammar increases anxiety and slows you down. Real fluency comes from practicing all four skills. Also, one more myth. One big course can make you fluent. Maya, what's your experience?
I tried an intensive online course once, but I didn't change much after it. The course helped a bit, but daily small practices actually made the difference.
That matches what language institutes say. Fluency builds through steady, long-term practice, not one-time intense programs. Your daily habits beat quick fixes. Okay, let's get practical for listeners. Can you walk us through your simple daily plan?
Sure. Morning, 10 minutes listening to a short podcast segment, note 2-3 phrases. Afternoon, 10 minutes reading a short article and writing 3 to 5 new words with sentences. Evening, 10 minutes mirror practice. Talk about my day or practice short introductions. That's about 30 minutes total.
Beautiful. That exact plan aligns with evidence. Short, frequent sessions and varied activities are more effective than rare long sessions. For someone starting, you can scale down to even 5-minute pockets. Quick question, Maya. How do you keep consistent when life gets busy?
I pair practice with daily routines. For example, I listen while commuting, read during lunch, and do mirror practice after brushing my teeth. Small habits become automatic.
That's habit pairing. Very effective. It lowers the friction of starting. And remember, even micro-learning bursts throughout the day can add up significantly. Now, I want to talk about pronunciation and accent. You mentioned fear of being judged for your accent. How has that been for you?
I used to think my accent would make people assume I'm not smart. Sometimes classmates laughed at my pronunciation. But now I try to see accent as identity, not a defect. As long as I'm clear, it's okay.